and also greetings. When you meet a new people in Australia, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, when I was a kid, I always told by, I don't know, my friends, my teachers, my family that Western people or white people, they are a bit arrogant because they have the thing of like individualism, you know that? So they like to do something by themselves. But when I arrived in Australia, I really impressed by how people say good morning every single morning, good night every single night, good afternoon every single afternoon. And also when I go to a new place, for example like Food Locker, the employee is gonna say, hey, how's it going? Even in Indonesia, they don't say that. If you go to a store, they just saying selamat pagi, which means good morning, or in a different time. Well, I think they want to build a better relation to the customer or to a new people, so they are gonna feel welcomed by Australians. They want to make a good first impression to another person. And next is bathroom tissue. You know, after I poop, when I want to wash myself in Indo, I always use water. Yeah, because there's a lot of water in Indo, but in Australia you gotta use tissue. Well, I've been to Singapore or Thailand before, so yeah, well, I'm getting used to clean my butt with tissue. So yeah, well, you gotta learn how to clean it with tissue. Don't always rely on water for all of you Indonesians. Next is food. Yeah, in Indonesia, like almost every single day I eat rice. Yeah, rice is pretty common in Indonesia because there's a lot of like rice fields in Indonesia. And when you're going to KFC, when you're going to Macca's, they're all gonna serve like rice. For example, KFC chicken, fried chicken with rice. But in Australia, it's gonna be fried chicken with chips. And yeah, chips. Chips also mean French fries in Australia. So chips is not only like a chips. No, it's not. It also means French fries in Australia. Even a lot of people use chips more than French fries. And then the next thing that makes me a bit shocked about culture in Australia is calling parents by their name. So before I go to Australia, my host mother, she contacted me and she just want me to call her by her name, which is really impolite in Indonesia, but I think in Western countries acceptable. Yeah, for example, like I have a teacher at school, his name is Mr. Smith, and even 8th graders students, they call him hey Smitty. You know, it's sometimes I feel a bit uncomfortable with that, but I think I'm getting used to that. I just don't want to call someone who's older than me, for example like parents, to call them by the name, because I always thought to be polite in Indo. And the next one is carpet. I don't know why in Australia, when you go to a class, when you go to a house, it's, I don't know, the floor is always covered by a carpet. So even they still use their, what is it, their shoes, their footwear on top of the carpet. But in Indonesia, it's gonna be a floor. They don't use carpet because I don't think they want to clean the carpet that often. And then the next one is in Indonesia. I think there is like an Arabic tradition where when you want to eat something, for example rice with chicken or with anything, you just eating that with your hand. Doing it like that. But in Australia, you gotta eat everything with spoon. Well, of course, except like kebab or burger, you gotta eat it by your hands. But yeah, I think we are learning a different type of table manner between Indonesia and Australia, so that's why it's a bit different between the usage of spoon, fork and knife, and then just eating with hands. But I don't worry about it. I can use both. I can use chopsticks if I want to. In Australia, I learned that table manner is, the thing is, you can't use your phone when you are in a dining table. You can't use your gadget because it's impolite, it's a bad behavior. And also, in Australia, you can eat with your left hand. It's not forbidden, it's even still appropriate. Sometimes when you eat like steak, you gotta cut the steak with your right hand with a knife, and then you're gonna eat it with your left hand with a fork. So it's a difference of table manner than in Indo. And also in Australia, there's like a tradition that is actually pretty common in Western countries, like eating dinner or lunch together in a dining table. And I think it's a culture shock because I am not often doing that in Indonesia. Me and my family, we sometimes are doing it, but not often. Because in Indonesia, we just like, I don't know, we eat when we want to eat. And we don't have any specific schedule for gather together in a table to just eat dinner. But in Australia, it's like happening on every single evening. So I love that. I mean, who doesn't love having a dinner together with their family? That's great. And also in my house, I don't know if any one of you who are doing this in Australia are doing the same thing or not, but like almost every single night we change the menu of the food. And even at my house, once a week, on Friday night, we are making a pizza, like a big round of pizza for ourselves. I mean, we made like 7 for the 7th member of my family in Australia. I mean, that's great. And then next is you should bring your own food. Well, when I'm going to school, there's a cafeteria, but the food price is really high. For example, like for a slice, like a cut piece slice of a pizza, it gonna cost you like $3.50, which is really expensive if you sell that in Indo. So for the option, every single student at my school, I think they are bringing their own food from their home. So it gonna save them some money. Even in Australia, not a lot of parents give their children their pocket money because their kids are working. For example, like my host brother, his name is Benjamin Shaw. He is working in Macca's and he got his own money from doing that. And so yeah, he's not begging his parents to give him a pocket money. And which bring me to another topic. Every student in Australia are working. Yeah, they are working by themselves. For example, yeah, Benjamin Shaw, he works in Macca's because in Australia, kids, they need a lot of money. And then also, the population is not that many as in Indonesia. I have ever once asked in Macca's in Indo, can I work here but I'm still in high school? And they say no, because the requirement is you gotta graduate first from high school and then you are being able to work in Macca's after you graduated from high school. I don't think that's necessary, but I think because there are too many population in Indonesia, even when you have finished your bachelor degree and then you get unemployed and then you only work in Macca's, after all of the money you spend for going to college, it's not worth it. But yeah, because there are too many population in Indo, and in Australia it's the opposite. So I think that's it that I can say in this video. Maybe if there is another point that I haven't delivered to you, I'm gonna record it first and just talking in front of the camera again. Well, hopefully you like how I speak English, because I'm not a native speaker. I've learned English for basically 12 years, like 11 and a half years in Indo since the first grade of primary school. But yeah, hope you're doing well. That's it that I can say in this video. Don't forget to follow my Instagram right here, or I'm gonna put the link in the description box below. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. My name is Akira Asafa. Sayonara.